Everyone, it's Jay again, doing a little paint video here at the end of the day. I know sometimes people ask about and see what we're doing, so here I've got, a bit of a shameless product plug. So I'm painting these Lord of the Rings elves, which I've been doing for Rise of Champions, and painting them kind of in their usual kind of Codex blue or whatever you want to call it, army book colors. Yeah, so just gonna paint away. I'm just working on the cloaks, or whatever you're gonna call these. They're all these big kind of capes and robes they wear around their armor. Working with some AK paint. It's probably the AK 3G paint line is probably the paint line I use the most at the moment, probably for the last year and a bit. I don't know. I found I just kind of fell in love with it. It's got this kind of interesting, it's not really that different from a Vallejo or Citadel, but it does have this kind of interesting, smoother working time. You have a little more time to kind of blend colors while they're still wet. And it doesn't tear. By that I mean, while you pull at it and brushstroke at it, it doesn't break apart, I guess, and pull into inconsistent kind of blobs. It just kind of stays how you want it. Now the other side of it dries very flat, so it looks shiny now that it's wet, but as it dries, it has a more matte finish, which takes getting a little bit of getting used to. You can see this. I'm working away here quickly. So I'm kind of blending the colors. So I've got some colors. I've got this dark blue, Prussian blue, which is a common paint in some palettes. It's kind of like Cantor blue, but it's deeper, or maybe like a Night Lord's blue, I guess. You paint with Citadel. And so that's my color I've got kind of mixed in here for shading. And then I have there's another color. The lighter blue here is mid-tone here is called, I think it's called Ducat blue, something like that. And that's a 3G color, and then or AK 3G color, and then the light soft blue, which you can't see in the frame, is my the highlight color I'm mixing in. And I basically formed a little trio of colors. So you'll probably see this in some paint lines. Games Workshop with Citadel has done this for a long time. They have these base coat, highlight, and shade kind of thing. So you work with those three colors, and you can kind of do all the shades in between for whatever color you're working on. So if it was blue or red or green, you can kind of pick three and just do everything in between with those. So that's pretty cool. And the goal of this step is to get a bunch of these guys to this stage where the robes are kind of been highlighted and kind of where I want them to be, and then I can paint some more details. And next thing I'll do is, this is kind of the most laborious thing. I have to go a lot. There's a lot of it's kind of the messiest step. There's a lot of back and forth and adding and highlighting and back, and and sometimes it get, oh, that's too light or that's too dark, and I have to start kind of go back to the middle sometimes, and I'm just adding until I'm happy with the result. And so once this step is done, then I can kind of look at other elements. I'll probably I'll probably do a wash on the armor. One model I did, the test model I did, I tried out the Monument Hobbies black wash. It was pretty good. It kind of reminded me of old Nuln Oil, or what was even before Nuln Oil. I guess it was black ink or something. It's kind of it was darker. It was it kind of stains more. But it also fills in the details pretty well. It's pretty interesting. I didn't mind it. but it is different than the kind of current citadels. I know some people really like the shades, or they're like the ones that really have a lot of opacity and cover and darken things quickly. I've kind of grown to like ones that are in the middle. I don't want it to stain, overpower, and get too dark too fast. I want to have the ability to just like do more layers if I need to get the result I want. It kind of goes along with that whole mantra that we love hearing, the too thin coats or whatever. A lot of higher, I don't know, you call it, more advanced painting relies on a bit of like the ability to control the volume of your colors in like small adjustments. So you can kind of build up brightness and darkness and colors to kind of as needed, and it kind of helps to have paint that you can control that a little better, and it's not as like intense. I mean, sometimes it's frustrating because you want to get something done a little faster, and you're like, I wish this was, you know, got lighter or darker quicker. But overall, it's a exercise in patience. You know, how you can, you know, do it slowly and get just that. It's all about the subtlety, especially on any miniature, even bigger miniatures that are, you know, busts and figures. They're still pretty small in the grand scheme of things, and that little bit of subtlety in something and a detail, and there, you know, maybe some kind of leather strap or clothing or whatever, or in their face, it really makes a big difference. How just like it's like you can definitely go one brush stroke too much, you know, sometimes in that sense. But either way, so I'm motoring along here. I'll be done this one. Yeah, I have to go at a bit of a breakneck pace because there's like, I mean, I'm not gonna do all of them at the same time, but I have like 30 of these type of infantry. This particular one's carrying a sword, so it's not bad. In terms of like the number of colors I gotta use, it's not horrible. It's kind of, the armor's like 2 or 3 golds. The skin and hair will be some sort of contrast paint. So really it's just this robe here that is kind of like, or cloak or whatever, is kind of eating up. And then also this will dry that little bit darker than it looks. I know on the camera it looks kind of loud, but the way that AK paint dries, it tends to be not so bad. Here's another one here. It's kind of like, some of them are a little cruder because there's another version of this guy. I went a little brighter on that one. I might do that still. I might go up another layer here. So yeah, that's just kind of, and then what else I've got, using, you know, my like, I've been using this brush for probably a month or two. This Artist Opus number 2, Series S number 2. It's a solid brush, you know, like it's got enough flex but not too flimsy. It holds a good amount of paint. It stands up. I have a fairly punishing paint style and brush stroke. I kind of really like rapid, quick, jam the paint on, build it up. It really also, I also punish the model or the brush a lot on the paper towel and the palette, to, you know, constantly cleaning, reloading, you know, stuff like that. And it stands up to that pretty well. I haven't lost too many bristles in this brush, to be honest. That's one thing I'll say for sure, is that they do seem to take the punishment pretty well. Maybe, yeah, quite, like, some of the other brushes I've had definitely have been good brushes, but then I've run out, you know, the bristles have worn out because of the punishment. But this one stands up pretty well, considering how many models I've painted with it. Yeah, I can't complain. You can see it's got various stains and things like that on it. And then I've got my Redgrass palette, which I've had for 2 years now, something like that. Yep, pretty well. It yeah, works well. I can come back to this hours or days later. like to leave. Usually what I do is I'll clean this up. Now that I'm kind of done my little bit of work for today, I might seal this and reuse this palette a little bit more tomorrow when I have some time. But then after that, it's got kind of the newer paper on it. It's thicker, and I actually just go to my I have like a stainless steel sink here at the shop, and I'll just bring this whole thing, run it under the water. I'll literally use my hand to just just quickly rub off all the paint, and it'll be it'll be a little stained, but I'll get to reuse this sheet. I've reused one up to 15 times or something like that, or maybe more, and then even then I probably could have used it more, but I decided to just put a fresh one on because I was like, I already got max value out of it. And you do still have to kind of keep in mind that even though this sponge and this palette doesn't grow mold very easily, it will still get there if you neglect it too long. So either way, that's it for now. If you have any questions, you can comment. How do I do something? Any products or recipes? Yeah, so today we're just blending fabric. All right, thanks again. Bye.